The Free Thinker Show. Ignite your mind, challenge the norm.
You know, when we think of cancer, we often think of it as like a rogue cell, right? Just going kind of wild and replicating without control. But what if it's not just about genetics? Like, what if it's about cells kind of losing their collective intelligence, forgetting how to work together, how to cooperate with the rest of the body? That's what we're diving into today. You sent over some really cool research that suggests we might be able to use AI to actually re-educate cancer cells, like almost teaching them to play nice again. It's like a cellular reboot, helping those cells remember, like, hey, you're part of a team here. And it all starts with this paper and interview with scientists at Tufts University. They've combined like AI and biology, even a bit of philosophy, to tackle this whole thing. It's like, imagine trying to fix a car engine, but you're only looking at individual grains of metal.
Yeah, it's just way too much. That's really where the AI comes in. It's like having this super explorer, but for biology. So instead of getting lost in all the tiny details, it looks at these massive data sets, right? Genes, drugs, diseases, all of it. And then it maps out all these connections that we might not see.
So it's like giving the AI this huge map and saying, find the shortcuts, the paths nobody's even thought of.
Totally. And the cool thing is these AI explorers can find patterns and relationships that might take us like forever to figure out. It's finding those aha moments, but in a massive amount of data.
And in this case, the AI found something totally unexpected. Like nobody saw this coming, a connection between GABA, which is usually a brain thing, and melanoma, which is a type of skin cancer.
Right. So like think of GABA as the brain's chill pill, keeping things balanced. And then you have melanoma, this aggressive skin cancer. So the fact that they found a link there, that's pretty wild.
So what's the deal there? Is the brain messing with the melanoma or what?
Well, that's what they wanted to find out. So they took that AI prediction and designed an experiment to test it out in the lab.
Okay, so from prediction to the lab bench, what'd they do? So last we heard, this AI thinks there's some kind of connection between GABA, which usually hangs out in the brain, and melanoma, that aggressive skin cancer. And the scientists are going to test this in the lab. What was that like?
So they used tadpoles.
Tadpoles? Really? Why tadpoles?
Yeah, tadpoles, they're actually super useful for this kind of research because you know how like they're transparent when they're young?
Oh, right. You can actually see inside of them.
Exactly. It's like having a window into how their cells are doing, how they change.
Ah, that makes sense. So what'd they do with the tadpoles?
Okay, so get this. They gave the tadpoles this drug, and what it does is it messes with GABA, or, well, GABA receptors, these little things on cells that are like ID checkpoints, I guess.
Like controlling the flow of info between cells.
Yeah, exactly. And the results were even crazier than they thought. The drug made the pigment cells, like the ones that give the tadpoles color, turn cancerous.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Just from messing with GABA?
Yeah. But it gets weirder. It wasn't like normal cancer, where it starts with one cell going rogue. This was like all the pigment cells at once, all over, decided to become cancerous.
Whoa. A coordinated rebellion.
That's one way to put it. And get this, they didn't just become any cancer cells. They started acting like neurons.
Wait, hold up. The pigment cells, they were like pretending to be brain cells.
Yeah. Like they started growing these long, branchy things, kind of like neurons do.
So they're not just rebelling. They're switching sides completely. This changes everything, doesn't it? Like, what even high-S cancer anymore?
Right. It makes you think about intelligence differently, Like, maybe it's not just our brains that are smart. Maybe it's happening everywhere, even in single cells.
So it's less like bad cells, more like they got the wrong instructions somehow.
That's a really interesting way to think about it. Like, what if, instead of killing cancer, we could figure out how to talk to it? Get it to, like, chill out and work with the rest of the body again.
Whoa. Okay, that's kind of blowing my mind.
Yeah.
But how? We got to get tiny little microphones in there.
Not exactly. We got to understand how they're talking to each other, especially this electrical stuff, Bioelectricity. That's where AI comes in again.
So we're basically trying to eavesdrop on our cells now, right? They've got all these electrical signals going on. It's like, we caught a few words, but we don't speak the language yet.
Yeah, exactly. We're surrounded by these, like, alien intelligences, cells, organs, even our own bodies. And we have no clue what they're saying most of the time. It's like, we discovered aliens, but they're microscopic.
And this isn't even just about cancer anymore, is it? It's bigger than that. It's like saying, what if intelligence isn't just something your brain does, but it's everywhere? Every cell's got a little bit of it. That's pretty profound when you think about it.
Totally. It makes you realize maybe we're not the big brains we thought we were,
Yeah.
Like maybe we're just one part of this whole spectrum of intelligence. Kind of humbling.
So crazy thought. What if we actually do crack this code? Like, we figure out how to use AI to actually talk to ourselves. What could we even do with that?
Oh man, the possibilities. Imagine talking to your own organs,
Right.
right? Like, hey, liver, how's it going? You need anything? Or designing new life forms. Like, imagine the stuff we could build if we understood that language.
That's insane. We could revolutionize medicine,
Hmm.
bioengineering, everything. Instead of just fighting disease, we could actually be working with our bodies at the most basic level.
Exactly. This could totally change how we treat cancer, how we understand our place in the world, everything.
Wow, that's a lot to process.
Hmm.
So what kind of future are we creating if we learn to speak the language of life itself? It's exciting and kind of scary at the same time.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's both, you know? We've got all this potential, but we got to be careful with it too.
Well, on that note, I think we'll leave it there for today. This has been quite the deep dive. Thanks for listening, everybody. And who knows, maybe one day we'll be having full-blown conversations with ourselves. Until next time.